All right, Jamie Bruce here, out on the pond today to talk to you about some ice auger, some options here from Strikemaster. It's kind of been the year of the auger, it seemed like. I've been getting tons of questions. It seems like a lot of the electric auger holdouts, you know, the old Model 30 crowd, hanging on for dear life, have finally realized that electric's the way to go. And with that, there's a barrage of questions. So, but anyway, I'm gonna walk through these. I've got the 24 volt, the Lite Flite, and the 40 volt. I'm gonna go through each and show you kind of some of the advantages and where you might want to use them. And stick around for a minute and hopefully you learn something. There really only used to be one you know, base model electric ice auger. Now there's a few by Strikemaster. I'm gonna go through them, show you kind of some of the advantages. Strikemaster is what we use up here. I'm up here on the northern end of Lake of the Woods. Conditions can be harsh. You know, I've been using them forever since the old gas days. That's just the brand we stick with just because it's tough and, you know we can depend on them. But anyway, I'm gonna walk through these. I've got the 24 volt, the Lite Flite, and the 40 volt. I'm gonna go through each, show you the advantages, disadvantages. First up is the lithium 40 volt Lite. This thing's been my daily driver the last couple years. The 40 volt has been the staple of the Strikemaster lineup. It's got the same flight as these other two. All the ones I'm gonna talk about have the synthetic resin flight. We'll get this out of the way right now. It is better than steel in almost every way. You know, it takes a lot for someone to make the jump from steel to something that feels a little bit flimsy, but this is the deal. It sheds the ice off. It keeps its shape, it doesn't get all bent, and it's super light. So definitely a step in the right direction, but we'll get that out of the way. It's the same on all three. And what's different on all three of these is the power head. This is the war pig of ice augers. This is the 40 volt power head, big 5 amp battery, big wide grip. It's got a couple lights. You know, I don't get up that early, but if you start in the dark, you got a couple lights to get you rolling. It's super light. It only weighs 21 pounds. It is the heaviest of the three, but it's a good beauty. It's been around the block forever and you know, hasn't led me astray. So this is the top of the lineup. This one costs the most. If you're a hardcore angler, drilling lots of holes, you know, fishing places that have 4 feet ice, this is the rig for you. You know, hasn't let me down yet, but there are some other options we're gonna talk about here. Next up is the Lite Flite drill. This is the same bit I was talking about, the same Flite. You can buy the Flite on its own, and then I've just got a brushless DeWalt drill on here. You can use any brushless drill. So I mean, performance really varies on what kind of drill and battery you're using, but this is actually from 2018. This is the first electric ice auger I ever had. I put 2 full seasons on this and then a lot of just shoulder seasons. I still use it real early in the year, creeping into like brook trout lakes or small crappie ponds. It's just so light. I can just fire a battery in my pocket, carry an extra one. It was a really good option before so many electric power heads were available. If you have a bunch of brushless drills laying around and you only go ice fishing a couple times a year, then you may not need to buy a full auger. You can just buy this rig, slap your drill on it. I actually bought this drill just for this auger, so it ended up being a pretty big investment at the time. I don't know that I'd recommend doing that anymore, but if you have a drill laying around, you know, I've got buddies that are carpenters that only go fishing once or twice a year. They just grab a Lite Flite, throw it on one of the drills and fishing out of their truck. And, you know, it's really good for that. Really hard to beat, you know, low initial investment. You know, maybe you're thinking about getting into ice fishing, but you don't want to totally commit yet. This is a good, affordable way to just get you started, have you an auger, something you can carve some holes with. So definitely worth checking out that Lite Flite. And it is worth pointing out that all you need is a little adapter. You can buy the adapter and you can use the Flite for either of these augers with your drill as well. So if you buy either of these 24 or 40 volts, you do have the ability to strap your drill to it with just that adapter. And last up, this is the wild card here. This is a little 24 volt, just peeled the plastic off the furniture on it. And this is kind of the reason for firing up this video. There's been a lot of questions about this thing. I fished with some buddies from Wisconsin last week and they were all using them. They had one on each hip on the lake trout prowl, and I was super impressed with how fast it was spinning. It looks like these are actually maybe a little bit faster than the 40 volt augers. They're super light. This one's 14 pounds for a full auger head bit on an 8-inch bit. So it's 7 pounds lighter, 2/3 of the weight of the 40 volt. It's the lightest electric production auger you can buy. It's got a 24 volt, 4 amp, like drill style battery on it. Comes with the charger and all that. Same Lite Flite, and it's just super compact, light, and I already know this thing's gonna be fast. I haven't drilled a hole with one myself, but I've seen my buddies, so it wouldn't be fair to line all these up and race them, because one's from 2018, has 5,000 holes on it. One's from a couple of years ago, and this one's brand new, cherry fresh. But I will carve you a hole with it, and I do want to test it out just because I saw these guys cutting, and I actually think it's a little bit faster than the 40 volt. So we'll light her up here. Oh yeah, Rocket Richard. Okay, that's super fast. This one spins a lot faster than the 40 volt. The 40 volt I think will be better like in those heavy slush situations, you know, where you're drilling through a lot of ice and have that weight on top, because it's just got that low end, that steady torque. But this thing's a little rocket. You know, some of the difference is it is a smaller battery. The data shows that on the 40 volt, you can drill 100 holes through 16 inches of ice with the 8-inch Flite. And this one with the same stats is 50 holes. So it's about half the capacity. You know, I'm probably gonna use this one a bunch for like when I'm just fishing out of the truck. I do a lot of evening fishing where you just hop out and drill, you know, 12, 15 holes in an evening. I don't have to worry about another battery. It's just super light. I can whip it around. And you know, if you're kind of the ice angler who you just go out on the weekend, drill some holes, set up the shack, and that's all you're gonna do, you're not gonna go drill 100 holes, then this might be a good option for you. It is a couple $100 cheaper, really affordable. It's more affordable than buying a Lite Flite on any drill. And yeah, definitely worth checking out. Super light, nice, fast. I'm probably going to use this auger quite a bit. When I'm out on the big tours where I know I'm going to be drilling a bunch, I'm going to keep rocking the old trusty, the 40 volt. The drill I'll probably still use early season. Maybe not though, because this thing's about just as light. But yeah, definitely has its place. If you're a gas auger person looking to make the switch, it's a great time to grab one right now. I know there's some on sale at Lake of the Woods Sports for a super affordable price. Electric augers can be expensive. Everything's kind of gone up the last few years and seems to keep climbing, but these are on for $4.99 at Sports Headquarters right now, so you're really not going to beat that. And the 40 volts are on sale too for $6.99, so really good time to buy. You really can't go wrong. Get rid of the old gas job. Give up on the recoils. Really no disadvantages that I can find to an electric auger, unless you're starting a shore lunch fire, you don't have the mixed gas to dump on it. That's been the only downfall so far. Thanks for checking it out, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. See ya.